brand new episode here on 1950's Farm. As you can see, we're out in the field and we're doing a spot of spring planting, or drilling, as we would say here in the UK, a bit of spring drilling. So we're planting the soybeans, or drilling the soybeans, whichever. Confused myself now. But yeah, we're out in the field, and so I've done the headlands, and I'm now just doing the middle of the field. The two John Deere A's are in the field also with the cultivator, the two new 3-meter cultivators that the dairy purchased just before we planted the winter wheat. And as I say, we're out in the crawler, and we've got the seeder on the back, and we're planting the soybeans. It's going very well at the moment, not too many issues, which is good, and for me makes a change, because things don't normally go straight forward. But at the moment, yeah, all is good, and as I say, we've not got too many issues. We're cracking on at a bit of a rate here because the rain is forecast to come in. Now, when I started this field, it was bright blue skies and sun, which it's still clear. There's no clouds as yet, or none that I could see anyway, and I've sort of done the full circle. But definitely the sky has changed to a slightly darker, more hazy tinge, so I've got a feeling that rain might not be all that far away, which is a bit of a bugger, but it is what it is. As you'll know from the last episode, we planted the corn. Still haven't managed to roll that field yet. I was sort of sorting it out, and then the rain then the rain symbol came. There we go, and I decided that I wanted to get on with planting the soybeans. So that's what we've done. We've left the rolling for now. So it'll probably be that, because I don't know how long this rain's due to last, but hopefully it won't rain tomorrow on the game, because if it rains for more than an hour, so anything over an hour needs a couple of 3 hours, game hours, to dry. So if we end up getting 4 or 5 hours of rain, we're well into tomorrow before I can get out on the field again. That's just how I kind of do it, just because Farming Sim, alright, it would allow me to drill this field in the wet, and as long as it wasn't sort of torrential pouring down, I might just carry on. I mean, my character's going to get very wet, but sitting in my comfy living room, it doesn't really affect me, son, so you carry on. Yeah, so it's just whether the weather's gonna sort of kind of be really unkind to us, or whether it's not going to be too bad. As I had rain the other day on Britain's farm when I was doing the hay, and the rain was 1 in-game hour, so that's no problem, because it wasn't sort of that animated torrential downpour either, so therefore it ended up being okay, sort of thing. And we could sort of, I think I gave it about an hour in return then to dry, and just carried on. But yeah, for say Farming Sim will allow you to just with this job carry on straight through. I do it more because of the combining. So if it rains, for every hour that it rains, it needs an hour to dry. That's kind of how I sort of roughly work it. But when you're doing land work, obviously the land with the wind and everything dries a lot quicker than what crop does. So if there's an hour's worth of rain, carry on. So for 1 hour while it's raining, I will sort of just carry on. But after that hour, I do then tend to start sort of thinking, okay, we need to pack up. Mainly because, again, in real life, it would start to pick up on the machinery. So these tracks would start picking it up. The wheels on the tractors, the tines, the coulters on the drill here, they would all start to pick that up. because it would obviously become very wet and clingy, and so you would stop, because the danger is that you would end up drilling with a block coulter. I remember drilling one year in 2 wheat fields, 2 fairly small wheat fields. I think they're about 20 acres each. And this is why you should never rely on computer monitors in your cab, and you should get out and physically look. And that's nowhere near as stern and as sort of nasty as what the farm manager said to me, but it's true enough. So I went to drill those 2 fields, and it was the last 2 fields of the day. Now, all day the drill had been, the monitors and everything had been telling me no block coulters, airflow was constant and consistent through every pipe, and and we were, sort of drilling at the rates that we wanted to be drilling at, and so I just took it that everything was okay. Now, what we're told to do, and what I should have done, was at the start of every field that we do, we have to go into the field, and then what we have to do is on the headland just stand there and then just blow a little bit of seed out through the coulters, and then obviously with the amount of seed that's on the ground, you can then tell roughly, that your coulters are not blocked up and that everything is working fine. Well, because I sort of got to the field, I blew the little bit of seed out. Well, the monitor, if there was a block coulter, would point you in the right direction, so you would sort of know instantly where to go, so it speeded the job up. Well, the monitor told me that there was no blockages, so I just carried on, because I thought, well, I did the first 20 acre field, like no problems. So there was no warnings, no loss of air, no nothing, and went through the second 20 acre field and drilled it, and when it came through, every breed there was 2 coulters together that had obviously blocked, and we had a nice gap every breed of 2 rows of crop that was missing. So I got a little bit of a telling off for that, but that's why you should never as I say, completely take notice of technology. You should just sometimes physically get out and have a look, because 2 coulters next to each other being blocked would have been very obvious when you blew the seed out, because there would be a big gap between obviously the last seed before the blockage and then the first seed after the blockage. There would have been a noticeable gap, especially, as I say, because it was 2 coulters. So yeah, never rely on technology 100%. Always get out and sort of have a check, and just make sure, because it can end up getting you a bit of a rollicking. I mean, all was kind of well, because we just went back and patched it up, but it was only 2 fields as it happened. Luckily, because I'd done quite a bit of drilling that day. As I say, it was towards the end of the day. I think it was about 8-9 o'clock in the evening, and like I say, another 40 acres, and I thought it's only going to I don't know if you heard that or not, but that's just one of the sprayers that, as I said many times before, there's a spraying contractor that doesn't live too far from me, and very often his sprayers are up and down all day. But yeah, as I say, I'd done quite a bit of drilling that day, and I only had 40 acres left, and I thought, well, it's only going to take me a couple of hours to do 40 acres. And as I say, it was about, I don't know, somewhere between 9 and 10 in the evening, and got to field number 2, did the test again. Sort of it wasn't a case of, it was all right in that field, I'll just carry on. I did do the test again, but I didn't physically get out and have a look. So it cost me, but so that's why I don't tend to, on farming sim, after an hour's worth of rain, I tend to stop, because I'm trying to sort of in a way simulate the fact that the machinery is going to start picking the ground up and the muck up, and and we don't want that. So as I say, that's why I do that, but it's mainly for combining, because obviously as you know, the rain stops on this game at 11 o'clock. Well, at 11:01 you can go combining again and it's perfectly dry. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I'm not really happy with that. So I tend to sort of say, well, no, for every hour when you're combining that it rains, you know, you need the equivalent number of hours for it then to dry out again. So that's why I tend to do it that way. But anyway, yeah. So as you see, 2 John Deere A's out in the field cultivating, me out with the drill, and I think we'll go into some time lapse. And that's not going to be a hugely long video, this one, just because it literally is going to be me going up and down a field. But I did think that you know, you'd quite like to see the fact that you know, we were drilling this field and you know, we were doing it sort of properly. And another thing as well is when I drive down here, it's nice to see that the dairy is starting to take shape with the red farm pack buildings. Absolutely fantastic, those buildings. Go check them out. I do believe they're on the mod hub, but that's not where I got them from. So I do download just about everything off the mod hub that I find, but sometimes I miss stuff. And then when I go on to another website called fs22.com, if I've missed anything off the mod hub, that's where I tend to sort of then pick it up, and I think that's where I got the red barns from. And for those of you that have asked, that's where I got that straw blower in front of me from fs22.com, and also the forklift on the back of the Ford N series. I also got that off fs22.com as well, and again, they may well be mod hub mods, but as I said, sometimes I do miss them. I sort of go on the mod hub and, you know, quickly glance at what there is there, or at the time I may not want something like that. So at the time that, you know, those mods are on the mod hub, it might be that I'm not looking for a cow barn or thingy, you know. So I end up then sort of, when I do a new series, if that, like this series for instance, and I knew I needed like everything to be old and from the 50s and, you know, the 40s and what have you, you know, sort of working up to modern day, fs22.com is a fantastic website to go to, and so too is it called Itch.io or something like that? I don't really, is it Itch.io or something like that? Website. I know you're all laughing at me now, and good. I'm pleased I've made you all laugh. It brightens my day when you know, I can make people laugh, and me, you know, trying to pronounce that name there, that is just, well, I can just imagine you're either rolling around your tractor cabs or whatever it is that you do while you're watching or listening to these videos, or rolling around your bedrooms and living rooms now. So yeah, that is one hell of a dip, actually. Just cutting myself off, groggy. So yeah, but anyway, we're going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse, and then we will then come back at the end, and we'll recap on what we've done, and we will probably start to plan what we're going to be doing next episode. So bye for now.
29 and I find myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I seek what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be.
And I'm back. How are we all diddly squatting? So, as you can tell, I'm making a right pig's ear. It's not entirely my fault. Get the disclaimers in early. That's my policy. Now, I've said before, and I don't know how to fix it. I don't. Not too sure what in Giants Editor I need to do to kind of fix it. But the textures from the machines are slightly out. So in some places, like here, you can see that it's drilling quite a bit past the seed drill. But then in other sections it drills quite a bit narrower than the seed drill. Now that's fine as long as you kind of know exactly where this is going to occur, which I don't, and so what happens is that I end up with a bloody mess like I've got now, where I've missed patches, and I'm sort of driving along the edge of where I previously drilled, and then suddenly it either sticks out 4 miles and I'm overlapping by a whole breed, or it sort of goes inwards by, sort of 2 miles, and I'm now missing it. Do you know what I mean? So it's not been it's not the easiest of maps to do this sort of drilling on. There's a prime example. So I've been driving along the edge of where I've drilled before, and now I'm overlapping by half a drill, because it now sticks out further. As you can see from the right hand side, it's now sticking out quite a bit further than the drill. Now it's gone back in again, and it's just constantly. And so what I sort of start doing is I start trying to turn and fill in the gaps as I'm going along, and then I kind of get to the point where I'm thinking, well, this is not how you do it. And like I've said before, I have one of those sort of black and white brains where I take everything sort of quite literal. So it's a bit frustrating, but never mind. It can't be helped as such. I can't believe how quickly they're getting across this field. You would think that, seeing as I'm doing sort of almost 2 miles an hour faster than them, that I would indeed catch them up. But I guess it's because there's 2 of them. But even so, I still would have thought that I would have caught them up a little bit. I know how to go and refill, but and I also apologise as well. There may well be a little bit in here in this video where there's what looks like a bit of a jump cut. I again hadn't realised that it had stopped recording. So I use the built-in game bar on my PC to screen record my games. Is there any that I could use that would be better, more reliable? potentially maybe use less memory. I don't know whether, videos, it doesn't matter what you record with, the videos would be the same, sort of size in terms of memory, but that I could be using. I sort of ideally at the moment would want a free one, but eventually I am going to start to upgrade everything to proper, professional levels. Like I say, I'm currently saving like crazy for a new PC so that I don't have the memory issue. Once I don't have the memory issue, then I can concentrate on other things. But each day is just a daily constant battle of, I can only record half a video here because, I haven't really got the memory, and and honestly, I pull my hair out some days, and it'd only help if I had some, but it is a bit of a battle each day. But yeah, so if there's any, I've heard this OBS thing mentioned on other videos. I haven't looked it up. I should do. I'm lazy, I know. Also, sort of quite busy recording, and then sort of getting what I've recorded turned into videos, and then getting them uploaded to uploaded to YouTube. I have an upload speed that's slower than me, and that says something because I'm bloody slow. So it's kind of like this constant every day. The computer gets turned on at like sort of about 4 a.m. in the morning, and we start uploading, and the plan is that we upload and record. Well, we upload 2 videos a day. Can usually get it in. Usually switch it off at about 11. So I'll let you into a little bit of a Jimmy secret. So I normally switch it off at about sort of 10 to 5 to 11 o'clock ish, because Bullseye comes on Challenge, and I sit and watch that and reminisce about the times when I was a kid, when I used to sit on a Sunday night watching Bullseye whilst we'd on a Sunday, because we'd have a cooked dinner every Sunday. We still do. I'm 43 now. Moved on many years. Back home living with my mum, still a cooked dinner on a Sunday. Still roast beef, and sometimes it's veg and Yorkshire puddings, and all of that good stuff, and roast potatoes, and sometimes it's mashed potatoes with mushy peas and Yorkshire pudding, and obviously your beef and your nice thick gravy, and but Sunday night tea, we would always have a salad. So mum and dad would sort of get it prepared, and then we'd sit down, and there'd be celery and hams, and hazelnuts and coleslaws and pork pies and Scotch eggs and all of this, and we'd sit down and watch Bullseye. And then once we'd sat down and watched Bullseye, and sort of tea go down, because you'd have ice cream and that for after, then what would happen is that we would either be allowed to go outside and play for about an hour, and then eventually what happens is that the dreaded school time comes, and so usually at about 7 o'clock we'd get called in, or called downstairs if we were upstairs. Get called down, we'd go in the bath, have a Sunday bath before school, and then it would be off up the wooden hill. And my mum still says that to me today. She goes, "Oh, go on off up the wooden hill." Mum, we live in a bungalow. There is no wooden hill anymore. She's like, "I don't care, get up it." I'm like, "What?" And and that's that was, so I watch Bullseye in the evenings because it kind of I'm quite a nostalgic kind of sentimental old ginger, really, and I I sort of do love that. I love to remember where I came from. I love to remember what made me me, sort of thing, like, and remembering all the things, and some of the things that you remember from the past you're not so fond of, but then you can sort of look at it and learn from it, and move on from it, hopefully, and so that's what I do. So yeah, the computer goes on at about anywhere between sort of 4, at the latest 5 a.m. That's when I get up. I don't sleep all that grand. Sleep. I sleep well but after probably 3 or 4 hours, I start to get sort of like chest pains, and I start to find it hard to breathe because I'm laying down. So I get up, And so I usually sort of get on with my day, go and make a cup of tea as quietly as I can, so I don't wake everyone else up, and then come into the living room / my bedroom because I sleep in the living room as well, and switch the old computer on and excuse me, and then sort of get on with making videos, or sometimes perhaps for an hour I'll sit and watch YouTube or other YouTubers doing farming sim, sort of, and just relax and sort of chill out, and I like watching Sunny Farms. If you haven't seen that YouTube channel, go check that out. It's SONNE Farms. They're from, I can't remember if it's South Dakota or North Dakota, but from one of the Dakotas anyway. Really good family farm. You got Cole and his dad, who name escapes me right at this minute, but you have those two, and it's a really good watch. I also watch sort of Dove Farms as well. If you've not checked out that channel and you like real farming, go check out Dove Farms. Really enjoy that channel. It's a really down to earth, typical Yorkshire farmer. My lovely ex, who I broke up with a few months ago, she was from Yorkshire. Honestly, if ever you get the chance to spend, I mean, I was lucky enough to get to spend nearly 2 years with one. But honestly, they are so funny. It's just the random things they come out with, and like in their Yorkshire accents. Honestly, it's hilarious. But so I'd sort of do that, and then usually sort of 6-7 o'clock, then I start the first sort of hour, or for the next hour, I sort of then sort out all my videos and make them into videos by obviously running them through the editor. As I've said before, it's mainly just to catch any swearing that inadvertently comes out while I'm recording, which, to be fair, there's not usually very many. And also as well, just make sure that there's everything in the video makes sense, which I think it does. I mean, I'm a bit nutty, but I think most videos that I do make sense. And then once that's done, they then start to get uploaded to YouTube. I then go for my breakfast. I don't know why I'm giving you a rundown of my day. And then once I've had my breakfast, back in recording again. But somehow me telling you about Bullseye gave you a rundown into my day. If you're interested, I usually go for a drink at about sort of 10, the loo at about 10:30, dinner at about anywhere from sort of 11:30 to 12 o'clock, and usually finish recording at sort of 4-5 o'clock when I get shouted for my tea. There you go. That's pretty much my day. And then in the evenings, I either play a game that I like playing, which is usually farming sim, to be fair. Sometimes it might be, I don't know, Football Manager or Supermarket Sim or whatever it is that I've kind of got on my computer at that given moment. I'd sort of play for, some nights I play for a couple of hours on Construction Simulator. I just that's me and my day. And as I say, about 10 to 11, the computer, anywhere between 10 to 11 o'clock, the computer goes off, and go and have my tablets, because I need pills to live, and go and have them, and then climb into bed and watch a bit of Bullseye, generally fall asleep to it, and then I wake up after a couple of hours. I get up and sort of move around just so as I can sort of get my breathing, and the sort of pains in my chest sort of subsided, then get back into bed and then sleep again then for another couple of hours, and then get up and then carry on my day. So it's not too bad. But there you go. For some, as I've said, unbeknown reason, you've just had a complete rundown of my day. But so I was thinking, because while I record, when I do the time-lapse bits, I obviously, well, not obviously, but I put Spotify on. I used to put YouTube on, but I find that YouTube, after about 20 minutes, it stops to say, "Are you still watching?" It's like, well, no, I'm not watching it, but I'm listening to it, and oh well, pay for premium, and then you can, like we won't stop. Whereas Spotify are kind of like, we do all that, but you don't have to pay for anything. Yeah, we'll just carry on playing. So I put my Spotify mix on. Usually my it's called Mr. Jimmy Ibiza mix, um, and I put that on and start sort of rocking out to that. And whilst I was rocking out to it today, because I never did clubbing when I was younger, obviously because sort of health issues and that, it just wasn't the place really for me to be. I need to be cold pretty much most of the day in order for my heart rate to stay normal and for everything to work normally. So I need to stay cold, which living in England is really easy. I once went to Cornwall for about 3 days, and I lasted about 3 hours. It was like, Jesus, you told me we were going in England. It was like tropical to me. But yeah, now living where I live in England, it's especially this year, it's pretty cold all of the time. But yeah, so I need to, say, remain cold and nightclubs and stuff like that. I mean, I've never been, obviously my brothers have all done it, and they've said, like, they're quite hot and quite sweaty, quite humid, quite, it's quite intense. I don't think you'll survive. And to be fair, I've never really had friends anyway, because, who wants to hang around with someone who gets out of breath at the drop of a hat? Do you know what I mean? Like, and so I sort of don't really have any friends to go with anyway. So I've never done it, but I love the music. The music is fantastic, and so I put my my mix on, and it just reminded me of this incident. So whilst I don't now have really any friends at all, not because I'm unfriendly or anything like that, it's just like I said, who wants to hang around with someone who's out of breath 99% of the time. It's not a good look. And but when I first left school, I obviously sort of had my school friends that I used to hang around with, and and I can remember this one time we went to the pub, and we're at the pub, and it was like a sort of or was we at a party? We might have been at a party actually. In the local village hall, we might have been at a party. I think this is more like, well, they were having Ibiza hour at this party in this village hall, and we're kind of sort of stood, and like my mates have sort of stood around, and we've all got a drink and what have you. And this this must happen like on a a minutely basis every weekend, right? So we're in this pub, right, or in this party in this village hall, and for whatever reason, I'm standing there with my back to sort of what would be the dance area, the floor, whatever you call it, and I've got my back to it, and one of my mates turns to me, Chris, and he says to me, Ginge. I said, yeah. He said, don't look now. I said, right. He said, but there is a girl that is eyeing you up. So I said, okay, which shoulder? So he goes, your left shoulder. So I was like, all right. So I start to tell, he goes, don't look. And I looked at him and I went, well, what's the point in telling me if I can't look? And he's going, well, don't look, you'll ruin it. Oh, what? She's fell in love with my back, and as soon as I turn around and she sees my face, she's going to go, well, actually. And then I looked in the mirror and sort of thought, yeah, that probably will happen, actually. But it was kind of like, don't look. And I was like, what? Why are you telling me if I can't look? Because the 3 seconds before you told me, I wasn't going to look. It's a bit like your mate going, here, listen to this, but don't hear it. Hey, what are you talking about? I've realised that's not funny, but it was, I was sort of kind of playing and sort of drilling this field, and that just come to my head, and I haven't told it nowhere near as funny as what it happened on the night. But as for the girl that don't look, I eventually sort of plucked up the courage and went over and said, can I buy you a drink? And she went, no, but your mate can, because I was actually looking at him. She goes, what does he think I am? Cross-eyed? which was really, really funny. Just like it was like one of the funniest things that sort of happened on a night out. Like I said, I sort of didn't have many because eventually, when they realised that I'd sort of I couldn't drink, I didn't drive at the time, and they just sort of very quickly they went off in their own and sort of stopped sort of inviting me, which I don't mind. It's up to them, isn't it? It's their lives. It doesn't bother me, and yeah. So, but it did remind me. And then I was looking at the cows, and every time I come up here, I was looking at the cows, and I don't know whether it's something I heard. I don't know whether I don't know what the situation is, but for whatever reason, this popped into my head. I thought it was really funny, so I thought I'd share it with you guys just to see whether or not you think it's really funny. But my head goes to me when I was looking at the cows, even it goes to me. It says, "What's the fastest liquid in the world?" And I said, "I don't know. What is the fastest liquid in the world?" He said, "Well, milk." I said, "Milk?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Before you know it, it's pasteurised." I thought it was bloody hilarious. But yeah, so it was really, really good. Here's one for you. What's got 5 toes but is not your foot? My foot. Dear. I'm in that kind of mood today. I tell you, when I listen to my Mr. Jimmy's Ibiza mix, it puts me in a really cracking, silly mood. But anyway, I've been going on for far too long. This video has now been going on for far too long because I promised you it wasn't going to be a long video. And I will thank you ever so much for watching and sharing your company with me. I've really enjoyed having you along, and I hope to see you in the next episode. And if you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help the channel. Subscriptions and things have slowed down over the last sort of few days. So I'd like to, to try and get us back on track. So if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free to do. It really helps the channel. And I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.